First up, winning form is a greatly admired quality in any field, and none more so than racing. So when a platform was sought for the breeding career of Golden Slipper winner Sebring, it came as no surprise that Denise Martin and her Star Thoroughbred Syndicate members decided to go with Widden Stud. Put simply, this thoroughbred nursery has a flawless record of successfully standing winners of Australia's greatest two-year-old race. In the lead up to the 2009 season, Angus Rowland checked on Sebring's progress.
Sebring's story is a racing fairy tale. The cheap colt made meteoric progress as a champion two-year-old and a good looker. What better home for Sebring now he is retired from the track than Widden Stud, the world's oldest family-owned commercial property. Sebring certainly seems to love his new home.
Yes, you can see he's really finished. He's a lovely horse. He's not long been out of Tarek Lodge, really started to put on condition, and he's such a relaxed, just a beautiful temperament for a young stallion, so he's a pleasure to have on the farm.
For his racing debut, Sebring was confronted by a heavy track in January of his two-year-old year. However, he made light of the conditions and overcame interference in running to score comfortably.
Coming after Sebring, they've dropped a Lale, and further back was Over the Wicket. So these two are having a tussle up front. Sebring on the inside and Siderius. Sebring's finding plenty. Over the Wicket's getting warmed up again on the outside, but Sebring is in front with about 75 to go, and despite a big betting drift, goes on to win it.
In the wake of such an impressive debut, Sebring was a short price favourite at his next two outings. But again, he made it difficult for himself in the Canterbury.
Queue up if you're on this favourite. Away it goes. This has put up a huge performance. It's done a stack of work, but it's dead set 10 lengths in front. And Sebring racing down to the post with 100 metres to go. He goes on to win it, getting a little bit weary late. Wins it by 5 on the line to Minghoy Treasure.
Then he struck interference again in the Breeders' Plate.
The odds-on favourite, Sebring, is right behind them, travelling okay. Just looking to come out now, Shin, and he eases around their heel, followed by Packing Supreme, and then came Over the Wicket. The leader as they get to the 300 is Big Spotter. Still a length in front. Dubai to Sydney looms up, and now Sebring's in the clear, and he's starting to put in the big bounds now. Sebring comes after Dubai to Sydney. Dubai to Sydney in front. Sebring gets level, puts his head in front, stretches the neck and races away, and Sebring goes on to win it by 3/4. Dubai to Sydney, and Big Spotter got third.
Sebring's connections had to endure an anxious 7-week wait before Slipper Day. But when it was time for Sebring's grand final, he emphatically answered the call.
It's Augusta Proud going up on the rail. The challenge, She's Meter and Anatomica. Sebring's about to burst through now. Right down the outside, Von Costa to Hero. Von Costa to Hero has sprinted to the lead now from Sebring. It's Von Costa to Hero and Sebring on the inside. They hit the line locked together. Might be Sebring.
Sebring had stamped his authority over the nation's two-year-olds and continued the fairy tale for his owners.
Incredible story, and it says a lot for Australian racing. You know, the memories that Sebring's given those owners and the racing public in general. It's a real fairy tale, and it's a great story of the Australian turf.
Sebring then took aim at the two-year-old Triple Crown and laid claim to being one of the best juveniles in years, with a dominant win in the AJC Sires Produce Stakes.
Sebring comes up to challenge on the outside, about to breathe down its neck. Von Costa to Hero's flat, he can't sprint, and Sebring took over, raced away from in second spot Love and Kisses, and then Samantha Miss getting up on the inside, but Sebring looked set for victory. Sebring punched out to the line. Blake Shin gets his Group 1, and Sebring wins it from Samantha Miss and Love and Kisses.
An unbelievable two-year-old, you know, to win the Breeders' Plate, and I think the first horse since Luskin started to win the Breeders' Plate and Golden Slipper. His win in the Canterbury was devastating. Obviously, to go 7 weeks between runs going into the Slipper had never been done before, nothing close to it. You know, he did have a virus and a well-documented setback there. At some stage, you know, there was a risk he may not even get to the Slipper. Gay produced him, and you know, to win the way he did and improve on that run into sires and beat Samantha Miss there. Was a great run again, and 3 weeks on the trot, and a bit of bad luck in running really just brought him unstuck in the Champagne, and to be beaten nose by Samantha Miss, who was a champion 3-year-old filly as it turns out, and she was on the way up, the fresh horse on the scene, is certainly no disgrace. So he, no doubt about it, he's a top line 2-year-old, one of the best we've seen in a very long time.
Now happily ensconced at Widden, Sebring has generated considerable attention on the farm.
Enormous hype around him, and a great sense of satisfaction for myself and the team at Widden to have secured our 5th slipper winner. Of course, we say we are the home of golden slipper winners, and a horse like Sebring is one that a lot of the farms, or I think every farm in Australia, was keen to get their hands on, and to have Widden chosen by the original 10 shareholders of Sebring as to be his home is a huge honour.
Of the 3 former Widden sires to have won the Golden Slipper and produced runners, all 3 have also provided winners of the Golden Slipper. Sebring is in truly rarefied company.
We've had a great success. Obviously, Todman was the first slipper winner at Widden, and an incredible racehorse and sire and influence in the breed. Of course, Vane, and what a great stallion he was, and charismatic horse, and a great sire and broodmare sire in his own right. And of course, side 2 slipper winners. Masque, a horse that I certainly work closely with, and he's a great sire, and again a great broodmare sire, champion broodmare sire, and a real influence to this day through his daughters. And Stratum's been incredibly popular. His yearlings have sold incredibly well. It looks a huge hope for us, and now to have Sebring, as I said, it's an honour and a real credit to everyone here.
Sebring is the leading representative of More Than Ready, the most dynamic juvenile sire line in Australia at the moment.
Yes, Sebring's his headline act, his best performer to date. He's a great sire, and he's a great influence. To go back-to-back Magic Millions and Golden Slipper has never been done before. Obviously, there's plenty of others like More Joyous in the wings. I think we'll see a top-line filly there this racing season. But here's what we were looking for in Australia: a sire line that would work with all the Danehill blood and Northern Dancer. The outcross had to come, and it's through the Halo blood and through More Than Ready we're seeing that. And he's a great sire and a great influence, and certainly to have his best son is something we're very excited about.
And it must have been exciting for you to see Feel and Ready win the slipper, knowing that you have the only Golden Slipper winning colt by More Than Ready back at the farm.
Yeah, I mean, we were great, just happy to see More Than Ready continue. And we have huge faith in the sire line and in More Than Ready, and we certainly showed that in Sebring. And to see it continue that momentum, and back up our belief is really positive. And obviously, Feel and Ready's the likely champion 2-year-old, and to go back-to-back champion 2-year-old is another great credit for More Than Ready.
But his female family also is excellent.
He's a terrific influence, Flying Spur, as you say, a dominant a 2-year-old, a good slipper winner himself, and a great influence and great sire. And then in turn out of Luskin Star, who's one of the all-time great slipper winners, and he's a tremendous broodmare sire and influence in a pedigree, and an amazing 2-year-old he was. And Sebring's from the family of Baguette, probably one of the great 2-year-olds of the Australian turf. Of course, he won the slipper as well. He has a similar 2-year-old record to Sebring himself, and he was champion 2-year-old and a leading sire in Australia. So he's got a pedigree which is very rich in Golden Slipper history and Golden Slipper winners.
Sebring has more than a splash of More Than Ready around the head, and is a refined individual.
I think there's plenty of More Than Ready. People say there's plenty of Luskin Star. He's a great coat, and he's a great style of horse. It's a shame we didn't get to see him as a 3-year-old, because he's really furnished and let down, and I think he had the makings of a great 3-year-old, but it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see it.
He also is a phenomenal horse to be around.
Yeah, he's a lovely horse to be around and to work with, and certainly we saw that when he left Tulloch Lodge. That was very special to them, and they were sad to see him go. And he's that type of horse that anything you do with him, he's keen to be involved with and learn, and I think he's a horse that people bond with very quickly.
Not surprisingly, the staff at Widden have been beating off inquiries with a stick.
He's been so well received from the first day we secured him, and it was announced that we'd bought Sebring. Broodmare owners, not only our existing clients but from all over Australia, have really been very positive and jumped on board, and we've been thrilled with not only the quantity but the quality of mares, some top-line mares to him as well, and of course More Than Ready's fee going up just really cements our place. I think he's very well priced, and the feedback from that point of view has been very positive. He is the most popular first season sire in Australia, and the most expensive, and rightly so. He's got a great lot of mares coming to him this spring.
And his sire line opens for him a plethora of broodmare options.
There's a lot of sire lines that work with him. He's a very interesting horse to mate. With Flying Spur and his pedigree through his dam, he works quite well with other strains of Danehill. You'd love to see Redoutes fillies, Catbird, Danzero, even Danehill fillies themselves. In Costa del Lago is a great mating, duplicating roles. That's one that really looks to work, and we've got some very good in Costa del Lago fillies coming to him. Also, other strains of Star Kingdom, Masque, etc. Mate very well, and as I said, when you look at the mating as we did to all of our mares, he's a pretty good mating with a really good majority of them.
Sebring is set for a long career at stud. With the backing of a top farm and an enthusiastic group of owners, he'll never be short of human company at the farm.
Yes, he's been a real draw card, and since he's been at the farm we've had a lot of visitors, and obviously building into the spring that's only going to grow, but a great group of enthusiastic owners and shareholders involved in him, so we've got lots of support on that front.